Hi everyone, welcome to this week's reading. We're going to be looking at the relationship between the Divine Masculine and the Karmic again today. Thank you, by the way, for all of you who left lovely comments for me last week. I will answer them as and when I can. It's really kind of you. Welcome if you're a new viewer. So let's get started. I want to have a look at the energy between the Divine Masculine and the Karmic. How has it been this past week? Thank you, Spirit. We have Teacher. Okay, so it looks like some lessons are being learned, is what Spirit is saying. Taking steps. Let's go for 4 like we normally do. A creative endeavour. One more, please, Spirit, if we may. One more, please. Oh, just knocking it on the floor. Okay, so we have great gratitude. Interesting. So, as I said, it very much looks like there's some lessons being learned. Now, you know, as I've said many times before, karmic relationships are more often than not about lessons that we need to learn in this lifetime. And, you know, this is very clear. Look at the size of those books on that card. I've never really noticed that before, but they're huge, aren't they? I do think that both the Divine Masculine and the Karmic have been learning huge lessons from this relationship. But for some reason, they're showing us this card this week. It'll be interesting when we do the Divine Masculine and the Karmic rows to see what comes up in relation to that card. What lessons have they been learning this week? They definitely look to be moving forward in some way, shape or form. And I always think when there's a huge building in these cards that it's usually towards, I usually say it's towards stability. But this, for me, is about a substantial change. They are taking steps for something in the future. Now, again, until we see what's happening for each of them, we don't know what that means for each of them. It kind of feels that there's forward movement. The lessons are being learned and there is forward movement in some way to something that will be more stable for both of them. Whether together or independently, we won't know until we have a look. It does feel that one or both of them have been doing things that they particularly enjoy this week. You know, maybe this is part of the steps that they're taking. You know, maybe career-wise, they're making some changes, they're making some steps forward, or maybe they're just doing things that bring them a lot of pleasure. Something creative, something fulfilling, maybe something that will lead to, you know, a new career path that will be more stable for one or both of them. But there definitely looks like there's a lot of movement going on in this past week. And we have gratitude. So they're both feeling very thankful for that. It may well be, I did a reading just a little while ago, and I talked then about the fact that certainly in England this week, things are opening up a lot more. We're able to go out and see people more. We're able to go in places to eat, things like that. So it may well be, depending on, you know, how your circumstances are wherever you live, that they're feeling thankful that they're able to go out and do more, to be able to, you know, they're taking the lessons they've learned from lockdown, for example, and they're going out and sowing the seeds for their futures, you know. They're doing more creative things, you know, living life. Let's see how it's affecting them individually and see, you know, what path they're taking. I'm going to start with these, then we'll do some tarot clarifiers. Spirit, can we look at the Divine Masculine, please, and see how these steps have affected him this week? What are the steps for the Divine Masculine? Thank you. Okay, again, we have spiritual strength. If I'm not mistaken, that card came up in last week's reading. He's getting stronger by the moment. I also think he's more receptive to spiritual messages, to, you know, receiving more messages from Spirit that are guiding him. And certainly we have a card of hope there. I'll come back to it in a moment. I'm only mentioning it because I've just put it there. Okay, we have stand your ground. Interesting. How else is the Divine Masculine feeling, please, Spirit? Movement, choices, decisions. Yeah, you see, this is all on track. You know, this is the sort of thing we saw last week. Because not only is he feeling spiritually stronger, you know, he's keying into those sort of messages that he's getting. He's listening more to his inner voice, his subconscious, and he's feeling stronger about following his heart's desires. You know, those are the lessons that he has been learning recently, that he now feels strong enough to sort of rationalize and to work through. And whatever these steps are that he's taking, bringing him a lot of hope. You know, he's eventually seeing the sun ahead of him. He feels that it's within, you know, he's able to, it's more tangible. He's able to touch it now. He feels that it's within his grasp. That's the phrase I was looking for. So whatever those steps are that he's taking, it's making him feel much more, they've just said the word joyous, much more joyous within. But he's having to be strong. He may be facing some opposition here, and he's really standing his ground. He's really saying, this is what I believe in. This is what I want. You know, he's being very definite about it. He can see the sun ahead of him, and he knows where he's heading, and he is heading for it. And, you know, he may be having to be very creative about it. The sun's in this card as well, interestingly. So maybe he has to be creative in his planning to be able to reach what he sees as his happy life and the sunshine ahead of him. Yeah, I mean, that fits beautifully because we now have the card of movement, choices and decisions. You know, last week I think we saw that, and we have been seeing this for quite a long time, that the Divine Masculine wants to move on from this relationship. He wants to move towards his Divine Feminine. He knows, and he's got the spiritual strength. He knows what he wants, you know. So he is in a position where he's standing his ground, ready to make his decisions, ready to take that step forward and, you know, be clear about his choices. And he's feeling very thankful that he's now feeling strong enough to do that. Because, you know, for a long time he wasn't, was he? It's interesting. Let's just have a look at the karmic before we come back and clarify the Divine Masculine. So what are these lessons for the karmic, please? How is she? Okay, this one fell. We're going to take it. It's the card of flow. I'll come back to that in a second. What else for the karmic, please? What are the steps? How are the steps affecting her? I'm only saying her. It can be a he, obviously. We have take the lead. Look at the light in that card and the light in this. What's interesting is we have, you know, we have the sunshine here. It's very much presented as sunshine in the hope card, but over here it's very much fire, you know. So yeah, we'll come back to that. Okay. We have the throat chakra card. That came up last week, I'm pretty sure, because we talked about discussions that had been taking place. And what else for the karmic, please? Why is there gratitude here? Why is there gratitude, please? Is it this one, Spirit? Spread your wings. How interesting. They're saying to me, take another one. So there's another one. You see, seek. That is very interesting. I find it all interesting, as you know. But, okay, so we're looking at the lessons for the karmic. What has she learned this week? She's been reflecting. They're saying the word reflecting to me. And she's kind of gone with the flow. She's kind of sort of felt, do you know what? I'm just going to go with it, keep the peace, and, you know, see what happens here. You know, I'm going to stop fighting. I'm going to stop sort of opposing anything that the divine masculine is suggesting or putting my way. I'm just going to go with the flow. I don't want the stress. I don't want the hassle. I'm just going to let it flow. Okay. So for whatever reason, that's where the karmic has been at. But interestingly, we also have the karmic wanting to take the lead in this situation. So whatever these steps are that are being taken, it may be that the karmic has initiated them, that it was the karmic that was the driving force behind this. So, you know, if the divine masculine, for example, is moving forward in their careers, it could be out of something that's been initiated by the karmic, for example, or it could be that the karmic is actually taking her own steps to move forward, either in her career or in her life in general. And that is what's bringing hope to the divine masculine. You know, you will know how this resonates with your particular situation. It could be that this karmic has decided, you know, enough's enough and I'm going to make my own decisions here. And actually that's brought some hope to the divine masculine. Every situation is going to be different, and obviously I'm reading for a lot of you. So, you know, please interpret it as you will for your situation. But we have the throat chakra card here, which is obviously all about communication. And because it's come up with creative endeavour, it feels almost about, what do we call it, expression. You know, expression of feelings, expression of sort of, I want to say, I don't know why, I wanted to say everyday life. That doesn't seem to make much sense, but that's what they just said to me. So, you know, maybe she's trying to bring more creativity into their everyday life and trying to encourage the divine masculine, you know, by, you know, those discussions and, you know, bringing in more life into their lives, if you know what I mean. Like I say, if they've just been in a position where they're able to go out a lot, excuse me, or to do different things, it may be that the karmic is actually initiating a lot of those activities. But she's talking a lot to the divine masculine about this situation and about what she wants to happen. But the divine masculine is standing his ground and saying, do you know what? This is what I want and this is what I am sticking to. So she may be trying, they've just said cajoling. She may be trying to cajole him into doing things, but he's standing his ground and saying, no, you know, I know what I want and this is the decision I've made. I'm ready to make some movements, some choices and some decisions, which he's thankful for. But what is interesting here is that what the karmic is thankful for is the ability to spread her wings and seek something else. And the fact that we have the two birds in this card says to me that she's seeking a partnership, but it doesn't feel like she's seeking the divine masculine. So it very much feels like she's wanted to sort of do more creative things with the divine masculine, but is almost like hitting a brick wall with him because he doesn't want to go there. And because of that, she's now thinking, well, now I know where I stand. Now I feel that I'm ready to spread my wings. I'm able to go out more because of circumstances. And, you know, I need to look for what comes next. And you know what? I'm thankful that I know where I'm heading. So it's interesting. We don't have... Do you remember when we used to read for the karmic and the divine masculine? We used to have a lot of clingy energy from the karmic. We're not seeing that anymore. We're seeing a stronger karmic. But we're also not seeing devious behaviour at the moment here. So maybe they've just had a more settled week. You know, in that they both know what they want and where they stand. And therefore it's taken a lot of that emotion... backwards and forwards pulling out of the situation. Let's just do some tarot. Let's just do some tarot. Okay. So let's do both of them, please, Spirit. Can we do this spiritual strength and the lessons learned for the divine masculine, and then we'll do the karmic, please? I can't take all of those. You want me to take the top one, okay? Yeah, Four of Wands. There's definitely a feeling of being able to be out, being able to, you know, work with others, being able to... They've just said synchronicity, which is a word that's not come up with this card for me before, but very much about working alongside others, you know? So maybe there are some supportive people that are around the divine masculine that are helping him to move things forward and follow his heart desires at the moment. Now that he's clearer about what he wants from the lessons that he's been learning. So why is the karmic flowing, Spirit, please? Why is the karmic just going with the flow at that stage regarding these lessons? Yeah, the lessons she's learned are about not rushing into situations, about slowing things down, you know. I always feel that this particular card for the Knight of Swords is very chaotic. It's very much about charging forward, you know, showing no heed to anybody else really, and, you know, just doing what you want. But the lessons that have been learnt for the karmic are all about taking a step back and really looking at things before you go charging into a situation. It may be as well that the divine masculine here has been mixing with some different people, working alongside some other people that maybe the karmic wasn't happy about. But she's had to learn that instead of rushing in and trying to separate people and cause a bit of chaos, that she's had to go with the flow, because he's been standing his ground and saying, no, this is how it is. It's good to see this strength from the divine masculine, isn't it? Because for a while he was wavering. So that's really good. So what about this hope? What is the hope that comes with the steps that are being taken, please? For the divine masculine, Spirit. Thank you. Okay, so he's being a bit devious about things at the moment. So maybe he's going along, you know, we said that the karmic was taking the lead in a situation or trying to influence things strongly. Here we have the divine masculine feeling hope regarding these steps that are being taken. But he's not being very honest about how he's feeling about it. So it sort of says that he's going along with the karmic's plans, but the karmic may feel that he's totally happy with what she's planning, but in actual fact, he's not being honest. He's being a bit devious because he feels that if he stands his ground and goes, you know, along with it, it gives him hope that somehow things won't work out and he'll be released from this situation. That's very devious. You know, he's not able to be honest about what his hopes are, maybe. Maybe he hasn't discussed fully with the karmic what his hopes actually are, and that is why we're seeing this card that's very devious and underhand. But I do get the feeling that these steps are bringing him some joy, but not for the right reasons. Maybe he's seeing that the karmic here is making a mistake, but he's allowing the karmic to make the mistake, knowing that that will allow him to go in the direction he wants to be in the future. Interesting. So let's see what the karmic is up to. Why is the karmic taking steps? What's it up to? What's she up to, please, Spirit? What's happening with her? No, we won't take that because that just flipped. What's happening with the karmic, please? Why is she taking these steps? What's this about? Thank you. Yeah, you see again, she's trying to take the lead. So, you know, I get the feeling that she's being a bit bossy here. So maybe she's putting plans in action and she's trying to influence some part of the Divine Masculine's life. He's not up for it, but he's playing the game because it's almost like, as I said, he feels that she's going to take these steps, but it's not going to work out. And therefore, he's got his own plans that he's not telling her about right now, you know. She's causing some upset. I feel that, you know, I do feel there's a link with these people because you remember I said at the a little while ago that she may not be happy with the people he's mixing with. She wants to control what the Divine Masculine does, you know, but she's causing upset with the people around him. And I think at the moment the Divine Masculine's letting her. And I think he's being very devious about it because he knows she's going to come unstuck. So instead of being sort of open and honest, maybe he's tried that in the past and it hasn't worked. He's just allowing that situation to unfold. Very interesting. So what is he standing his ground about? And what's this creativity, please? What's the Divine Masculine standing his ground about, Spirit? Right, he's saying enough's enough. Look at this. Look at this. He's saying, I've been carrying burdens and I have felt trapped for long enough. Enough is enough. Spirit are being very emphatic. Wow, don't usually use that word. But they are. They're saying to me in very strong language, very strong terms, that the Divine Masculine is saying, I have been trapped for too long here. Enough is enough. I have carried my burdens. Now I'm standing my ground. Karmic, you can try and take control. You can be as bossy as you like, but you know what? I'm not having it. I have the inner strength now. I am standing my ground. Enough is enough. Okay. Wow. That came, I wish you could feel what I feel at the moment. I can feel it in my chest, in my heart. It just is feeling so strong and so cross. I feel cross. And for these two cards to come out together with the Stand Your Ground card, he's saying, I'm done. I am done. I will go to whatever lengths it takes to end these feelings. I don't want to feel trapped. I don't want to feel burdened. I am not doing it. And maybe he's having to be creative about making changes in this situation, but certainly he's not responding to whatever plans the karmic is trying to make for the pair of them. He's not doing it. So what is she trying to do, please, Spirit? What's the karmic trying to do? Yeah, very much about being in control, providing the guidance, you know, magicking up what she believes, because this is all about her beliefs. This is about her wanting what she believes is best for the pair of them. You know, I'm not saying she's being malicious at all. I think she's being bossy, but hey, who am I to judge? She is, you know, she is talking to him about the plans she has, what she thinks is best for both of them, what beliefs she has, what outcomes she wants. She's trying to predict the outcome of certain situations. And the Divine Masculine's saying, no, I'm standing my ground. Make whatever plans you like, karmic. I'm not arguing about it. I'm just saying, you carry on, but I'm not being totally honest with you about it. I'm not actually saying no forever. I'm just saying, make what plans you like, but actually I'm not into it. I've got my own plans. I've had enough now. Interesting. I love the word interesting. I say it a lot, don't I? So Spirit, please tell us about these movement, choices and decisions and why the Divine Masculine is feeling so thankful about it all. Thank you. Yeah, he wants his dream come true. He wants his wish fulfillment, you know. He said, I've suffered enough. I made the wrong decision. I want to be where I want to be. I want to be with my Divine Femme. I want my wish fulfillment. You know, the movement choices card I always like in this context because it has 2 wedding rings here in the red panel, which is all about passion. You know, he wants his wishes to come true. And that is why he's feeling thankful at the moment, why he's feeling this great gratitude, because he feels that he's got an opportunity here to fulfill his wishes. He's feeling happy about that. The thought of releasing all these burdens and escaping this feeling of being trapped is making him feel very, very thankful at the moment. But what about the karmic? Why is she thankful for being able to seek elsewhere? Ooh. Interesting. Okay, so that was a bit of a surprise. We have the Empress here. This is really interesting because, do you know, I feel that this karmic knows about you, Divine Femme. And I feel that, because this is very much a Divine Feminine card. And I somehow feel, this is odd, because I thought that this was about her seeking elsewhere, and I do think it is that. But I think she knows that she's lost out, in a way, to the Divine Feminine. And it's weird that this is against the gratitude, but I think that, you know, in the karmic's mind, she's always known, Divine Femme, that you were there. You know, you were always there in the background of their relationship, you know. And she's tried to deny it. She's tried to fight it for a very long time. But in a way, it's almost like there's a part of her, and you won't see it all the time, obviously, because I still think she will fight to a certain degree. But there's a part of her that's quite grateful, really, because if things have been very difficult between her and the Divine Masculine, maybe she sees you as providing her an escape route. And I know that sounds a bit sort of convoluted, but, and in fact, I'm going to pull another couple of cards to make sure I'm on the right track here, but it feels like she has got her freedom, even though she's been trying to control the situation with the Divine Masculine. It's almost as though she's realising that she's not going to be able to do it because he is standing his ground. She knows his heart's somewhere else. So in a way, if things have been difficult, it's a release for the karmic to think that she can go and have her life with someone who'll make her happier, you know. So maybe she is thankful that you exist. And I know that sounds a bit far-fetched, really, when you look at all the readings we've done on this particular subject for a long time now. But that's the message I'm getting. How curious is that? You know, I haven't quite got into doing extendeds yet. As you know, for a number of reasons, I've not been reading much recently. But that is a classic example of where I should have done an extended. But I'm going to pull some more cards on it because I think this is a really, really strong message here. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, you see, King of Cups. She knows that the Divine Masculine loves the Divine Feminine, but he's not talking openly about it. She knows. So he can act as sort of deviously as he likes. But she knows. The karmic knows. She knows he wants to be with you, Divine Femme. So the divine masculine is harbouring fears about telling her that that's what he really wants to do, when in actual fact the karmic already knows. She knows what his wish fulfillment is. Is there anything else that we need to know about what the karmic knows, Spirit? Is there anything else that we need to know about that? Yeah. She knows that there's a lot of healing that needs to be done. She knows that the relationship between the divine feminine and the divine masculine needs to be healed and some balance needs to be brought. But she also knows that she has her own healing to do from this situation, because she will be hurting. I'm not saying that she's, because we have a gratitude card here, I'm not saying that, you know, the karmic is joyously releasing her divine masculine. She sees him as hers at the moment, which is the only reason I said that. But I do feel that she is going to still be very hurt by this situation. But she knows that he wants to be with you. And in a way, it releases the karmic to go and spread her wings and seek someone. Look at this and look at this. Look at this and look at this. Balance, peace, self-reflection, meditation, healing. The karmic knows that's what's needed in this situation for all concerned. And that is a real turnaround. I almost feel quite proud of the karmic right now. And trust me, you don't get me saying that very often. No, I'm not going to go there. Okay. Well, that is a really interesting turn up at the end of that reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to just pull a couple of cards, actually. Let's get a message. I got so carried away with that because that is fascinating to me. Let me know what you thought of that, because I find that really interesting. But Spirit, can we please have a message for the divine feminine from the divine masculine, please? Can we have a message, please, from the divine feminine, from the divine masculine to the divine feminine? What is the message, please? What do the divine feminines need to know? Whoop. What's this one? Yeah, look. A personal issue reaches resolution. It's coming together, divine femmes. We've been saying it for a long time, but none of us are in control of divine timing, as we've said. But the end of a tough cycle approaches. How perfect are those two cards? A personal issue reaches resolution and the end of a tough cycle approaches. We're nearly there, divine femmes. We're nearly there. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to leave it there this week. Please, if you haven't already, please drop a like. I'm really trying to get the channel back on its feet after my absence of the last couple of months. And also, if you could subscribe if you haven't already, that would really, really help. And yeah, let's look forward to some more good news in future readings. Have a beautiful week, everybody, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.